Hello, hope you're all keeping well, hope your families are all well, hope you're not going too crazy in this current situation. So Rob just asked me to do a quick video on some highlights of the season, some of what's going on at the club and some of what we're missing about football. So highlights of the season, there's been a few highlights, a few lows, a lot of head scratching, a few disappointments, but that's life at Trinity. It's not been any different for the past 4 years I've been involved. So yeah, it's a roller coaster ride every season. There's a lot of bizarre things go on that most of you out there wouldn't believe if we told you about. Me and the chairman quite often joke about, when we've both packed this in, we're going to write a book about some of the stories and the goings on that happen at Trinity and non-league football. So yeah, we've added a few more chapters to that this season. But in terms of highlights on the pitch, for me it's been the second half of the season, the away performances and the away run. Breaking that 100 plus year records for unbeaten away results has obviously been massive. Just a disappointment that obviously that doesn't count, apparently won't be recorded, because of the decisions that have been made. So I mean, don't get me started on that. We could be here all day on the rights and wrongs of where we are and the decisions that are being taken. But yeah, that's probably a discussion and probably another video for another time, because we could be here for hours. But yeah, that's a disappointing thing that that momentum it's been lost, and not lost, but it's just been halted. So yeah, there is that disappointment, but the highlights, like I say, have been that run, and probably the three games that stick in my memory have been Lancaster, Stalybridge and Radcliffe away, all for different reasons really. Stalybridge game didn't start particularly well, poor performance first half, went in half-time losing. Second half we come out absolutely flying, 2 quick goals, and put in a great performance and a great shift to win the game. And I think those that were there, you saw the celebrations between the fans and the players at the end. I think that just spoke volumes about where we sort of were as a club and how everybody come together, which was it was great to see. And then Radcliffe away again was completely different. We came out of the blocks absolutely blazing that day, 2 goals up, seemed to be absolutely cruising. Gets into half time, then we come out at half time. Doug Thorne gets sent off first minute. Simon Russell goes off, ends up in hospital with his broken ribs. So it's a bit back to the walls. Every man digging in. Michael Williams had to come on 20 minutes when he wasn't really fit, as we were short on bodies on the bench anyway. So yeah, second half was a complete sort of back to the walls job. So that was another great performance. And then Lancaster away, for me personally, I thought that was all round that was a perfect away result. We dug in when we had to. We got the goal. Probably should have had a couple more goals. But just that performance for me, I thought it was a perfect away result and away performance. So they're probably the highlights of the season. Off the pitch highlights, the club up until now, obviously, till everything stopped, has still continued to develop and go forward. Particularly through our, the club's football foundation, which is continuing to do so much good in the community. And the hard work of the chairman and commitment. He's now delivered a £1 million development down at Roses with a new 3G facility and taken on that whole facility, which is going to be massive for the football club and the town. So yeah, it's just all disappointing that we've all come to a juddering halt like this. And it's all about trying to limit the damage that this break does to the football club. Same as any business, you're all in jobs or you have your own businesses, so it's the same for everybody. But it is just about trying to minimise the damage and seeing what we look like as a football club on the other side of this and where we go from that. So yeah, off the field things are continuing to develop. Personal highlights, again, as secretary, you start the season, you just want to get through the season with all your paperwork done correctly, no fines, no points deductions, no kicked out the cup competition. So yeah, to get through that again is another highlight. 60 players registered, 40 reserve team players registered. So 100 player registrations over the course of the season to get through all of that, plus all your other paperwork, and to get it all done correctly. Yeah, that's another achievement. It's been a massive job, but we got through it. So yeah, what am I missing about football? Everything. It'd be the honest answer. You know, the just the day-to-day involved running games with Trinity is when we're not a full-time club. You know, it's not, we don't rock up on a Saturday and do a bit of paperwork on a match day, and that's it. You know, we're at it all day, every day. You know, as a board, you know, emails and phone calls are all day, every day. You know, with the manager, it's all day, every day. You know, we have a WhatsApp group where, you know, the messages are bouncing backwards and forwards all day, every day about this player, that player. What should we do about him? How should we move forward? He's been looking at this player. So yeah, it's all day, every day. So it's just that you miss, just the all day, the everyday stuff. You know, match days, missing the match days. You know, missing the people, your mates, having a drink, going to the pub after the game. Away days in particular, you know, the car journey, and absolutely hammering Jeff in the car with Richard for some good laughs like we do. You know, we're missing all that kind of stuff. So yeah, everybody's the same. We're all missing it. But you know, and the trouble is, a lot of it is the unknown. So for me, close season is, again, it's the busiest time of the year. You know, as soon as the last game finishes, we're into retain lists, release lists, new deals with existing players, negotiations with new players, arranging pre-season friendlies, arranging pre-season training, all of your affiliation paperwork, all of your subscriptions, all of your fixture list, questionnaires, everything. You know, close season, pre-season is busier than the normal season. So it's a bit strange at the minute because we're sort of stuck in this sort of 2-month hiatus where we can't really do anything. We don't know what the situation is, when it's going to end, when we're going to know when next season's going to start, what that's going to look like, what we as a club are going to look like. So yeah, it's a bit strange at the minute. We can't do a great deal. So obviously the players are still contracted until May, so there's not a great deal we can do in terms of any retained or, you know, release lists. Pre-season schedule is basically been torn up, and we're having to restart that. Obviously, we've got a number of Football League clubs lined up, which, you know, are the lifeblood of clubs like Games for Trinity during pre-season for the revenue. So obviously, with the fact that the EFL are still waiting to restart their season, so potentially their new season is going to start later, which then means that they won't be available for our pre-season. Is just another blow to the football club in terms of our finances, and it's another headache to us in terms of trying to arrange what we're going to do and the plans. We don't know when the season's going to start at present. Communication from the league is not a lot. We've not had any communication for probably 2 weeks now, when they told us the league had been null and void. So and that's probably not a criticism of the league, because they probably don't know. They're waiting on you know, the FA and the powers that be to make these decisions in their infinite wisdom. So yeah, it's a strange situation at the minute, where there's not a lot. Well, there's nothing going on really in terms of the football. You know, we are working behind the scenes, the board of directors, you know, trying to safeguard the future of the club, try and, you know, minimise the damage that there will be to our finances and the club going forward. So yeah, Richard and the board are working hard on that at the minute. So yeah, we're doing that. We've had a couple of board meetings. We've gone a bit technical, doing them via video call. So yeah, there is bits going on, but yeah, it's very strange at the minute, and yeah, it's very worrying about where the club could end up. But obviously, we're all trying our hardest to make sure that we come out of this, you know, with as least damage and as strong as we can, going forward, to, you know, give Curtis a workable budget to bring in players. Because I think we all feel that the momentum that was there at the end of the season, when it was brought to a quick end. You know, we was all building on that for next year to give it a real good go. So we really want to be in a position to be able to do that next year. So yeah, it's a bit of a waiting game at the minute, but yeah, that's where it is. So wish you all the best. Hope you all stay safe. Hope you all heed the advice and stay indoors so that we can get out of this situation as quick as possible. See you all soon.